is going to not work for me. I'm a little shorter than that. All right, parents, we just want to go ahead and welcome you to our parent orientation. So if you are a parent of a 6th through 8th grader or a freshman, or you are new to Faith Christian School, you're in the right place. And we are just really excited to see you here in person. And we're just glad to be able to be back together again. My name is Nicole Hume, and I'm the middle school principal. And I also teach the advanced chemistry classes in the high school.
And I'm Lynn Hoysinger. I'm the high school principal here at Faith Christian School, and I teach a couple of classes. I teach freshman Bible, and I also teach the freshman guys in health and in PE. So I get the great privilege to be with many, many young people throughout the day. Hey, I'd like to open up with a word of prayer, and then we'll get started here this evening. And we've got a lot of important information for you, and I hope we'll be able to answer questions that you may have. Dear Father, thank you for, first of all, most of all, for Jesus Christ, your Son. Lord, without him, we would have no hope. And we thank you that through him, we can have eternal life. As many as did receive him, to them gave he the privilege to become children of God. We thank you how John wrote that, and we thank you for what you've given us in him. Thank you for each parent, each family that's represented here, each young person that's represented here. Lord, our goal is to be able to help them follow Jesus Christ throughout their lifetime. So will you help us with that today and throughout the rest of this year and even well into the future? Guide our steps tonight. I pray that we'll be able to answer questions that parents may have, and that also we'll be able to just be a blessing to each family that's here. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, hey, what I'd like to do right here at the start is just kind of introduce a little bit of our administration team. But before I do, I want to talk a little bit about our mission. I actually alluded to that a little bit in my prayer here this evening. Our mission is inspiring a student's lifelong pursuit of Jesus Christ through a personal and encompassing learning environment. Hey, that's our goal here. So if you've had a chance to sit down with me in my office with maybe you're a young person, that was one of the very first things that I brought up. Hey, we're about pointing young people to Jesus Christ. That's our goal. That is it. You can get education in all sorts of ways, but our education here is designed where our faculty and our staff know their subject very well, but they love the Lord Jesus Christ, and they want young people to follow Jesus Christ. So that's our mission. That's our mission statement. Our vision statement is through partnership with parents, we equip students in every way to realize their God-given purpose and to be able to fulfill it. So those are the guiding principles that we follow, and whether that's me working with a young person or whether that's us making a decision even in the future, we will always go back to that mission statement that's there. And I hope that that's part of what you would desire for your young person as well. Hey, I want to introduce our staff and especially our admin team. This is Jonathan Lameth. Some of you will have young people that will be in elementary school, and that parent orientation is tomorrow night. And Jonathan is the elementary school principal. Elizabeth Wickard is our academic coordinator, and she would be one of the persons that you would be talking with when it comes to your young person's schedule and any of the many, many details that may go into maybe even a change in that schedule or something else along that line. Paul Brenninger is in, I believe, in the gymnasium at this time. I don't know if I see him in here. Oh, there we are. There's Paul. All right, so Paul snuck back in here, all right? And so Paul's the director of advancement. He also has a lot of information for you. We'll be talking about a little bit later on this evening. And then Scott Grass, our superintendent, is not with us this evening. He's with our seniors, and the seniors are gone on their retreat. They're at Twin Lakes Camp right now, and they're enjoying their time together to kind of build some class unity and as well as their leadership potential that they have going on as well. So Mr. Grass is our superintendent. We're looking forward to a great year together. I want to take just a little bit of time as we go into our parent orientation just to spend some time talking about what's going to happen when you come, whether that be for your morning drop-off on on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday of this week. And I don't know if you can kind of see this very well, but nonetheless, if you've been here in the past, you'll know that 26 can get kind of backed up. And we've been blessed with more challenges, if you've noticed that, all right? Which is, I guess that's a good thing, all right? But the cones get put out. I was driving by the other day, and I saw the cones were all put away, and I was going, yes, they're finished, they're ready to go. And then I came out on Monday and in the morning, they were all back out again. I went, no, we're back where we're at before. So I would just encourage you might want to start just a little bit earlier. We will obviously be flexible as we begin, all right? So probably the tardies and things like that will be a little bit more lenient as we begin school. But still, nonetheless, if you're traveling from 26 Highway, what we'd like you to do is to keep going down by the community center, all right? And the entrance by the community center is where we want you to come on in. As you go past that spot, you can see the line there in red. It goes right in front of the community center. You'll go all the way to the end if you have any elementary children in your vehicle, okay? So you say, well, I have some senior high people. Yeah, but if you have some elementary children in your vehicle, you have to go all the way to the end. You can see that towards the end of the parking lot there, right by the skate park, and you'll take a left. You can see those red lines that are there, and then you will actually travel along the north side of our building, which is right out over here, all right, and you'll drop your young people off right by what we refer to lovingly as the gorilla goals back over here. That's where our basketball goals are at on that side. And that's where you drop your young people off. Then you'll exit right over here on the west side of the building, and then you'll come back out here on 550 and you'll make your way on out. Okay, and I'm smiling because I also know that sometimes things, again, they sometimes get a little bit backed up the first week or so of school. So please be patient as you do that. If again, you have no elementary young people in your vehicle, you'll still follow that red line all the way to the skate park, but instead you can kind of see where it peels off there, just about one traffic lane or one parking lane in front of that. It's in yellow right there, right next to the skate park there. And you'll actually travel right along the north side of that parking lot, and then you'll come right in front of what we call our flagpole entrance, which is right over here. And you'll drop your young people off there, and then you'll make your way and you'll circle back out here to the east, back towards the community center, and then right back out onto 26 Highway. If you have young people, obviously you have young people, but if you're coming from the north, all right, and you're coming down 550 this way, and you're living over in this neck of the woods over here, and you're coming down, we will let you come on in here, the southwest entrance, right over here. You'll come along this part of the building right over here on the south side, and then you'll pull right along the east side of the building, and you'll be able to let the young people off right here in front where we refer to it as entrance number 1. That's our church entrance, and they can come in right there. And then again, you'll see that in yellow. You'll follow right back out towards the community center, and you'll merge right there, and you'll head right back on out onto 26 Highway. All right? So again, we have all three of those traffic patterns which are happening, but still nonetheless, that helps us to be able to alleviate a lot of pressure that's on 26 Highway as well. Pickup is a little bit different, all right? And so we just want you to, again, be aware it to be the same as last year, but again, as you come in for pickup, we ask you to go through the entrance right over here on 26 Highway, right by the community center. You'll enter in right there, and you can see if you have any elementary young people in your vehicle or things along that line, then you will probably go right along that red line all the way to the very end of the parking lot. You'll get in the elementary car line, and you'll pick up your young people right there. There may be, for example, if you have elementary and high school or middle school young people, again, that's the directions you're going to take. You're going to take that red line, takes you all the way to the end of the north end of the parking lot, and follow right along the north end of the building. Your young people will be called from the gymnasium to come out to you in the vehicle right over here on the north side of the building. If instead you don't have any elementary young people, you'll be coming through where you can see that little yellow line that's right there. And so you're going to actually travel along the south side of our parking lot. And you'll break out into two lines right there. If you have just high school in your car, you'll be in the closest line right there because our high school gets out 10 minutes before the middle school does. And so there's a high school only line. Is if that's all you have that you're picking up, you'll get in that line right there. If you have middle school or middle school and high school that you're picking up, then you'll get in that line, which is farther to the south. And those will be right there at the end of that parking lot here on the south side of the building. And again, what we'll do is it'll be very important. Each one of you will receive a little placard which will have a set of numbers that are on it. You'll want to make sure that you put that placard right inside your vehicle, or anyone that's going to be picking up your young people, you'll need to have that placard there. That's what our our staff will use when they go on out to be able to text back the numbers and the names to us inside, to the folks inside, the teachers inside, to let your young person come and know that you're here. So please make sure that you keep that in the vehicle. Most parents will take and put that particular placard right on their visor, and then they'll just flip the visor down so that we can see it. And what will usually happen is one of our teachers or one of our staff or myself might be out there, and I'll be actually looking at that number through the visor, and then I will actually text that back here to our staff, and they will then dismiss your young person to be able to come out to the vehicle that way. All right? That we just found that works the best to be able to keep everybody safe. And so, again, when we're finished here with all of our meetings that we have, I'm going to actually take and meet with a group of any folks that want to actually walk through that. I'll take you right out here on the parking lot and walk it out so you can kind of see where everything is at. So that'll be after the high school meeting and after Dr. Hume is done with the middle school meeting as well. All right. We talked basically about these two entrances. Entrance number one, flagpole entrance, is also, those are the two entrances that the drop-off and the pickup will be at. Beginning of our day, in our classes, the beginning of the day starts at 8 o'clock for the middle school and at 7:50 for the high school. All right, so we have that little staggered start right there. Again, that helps us just a little bit with the start of school and also with the traffic flow that's here. If your young person happens to get here before then, all right, we will want them to go to the gymnasium. So if they're here like from 7:30 or from 7 o'clock on, we want them to go to the gymnasium and we'll meet there. We have a buzz-in entry system, and basically the doors on this side and all around the building will be locked at 8 o'clock, from 8 o'clock to 3:20. And all we ask is that any parents or visitors, if you are wanting to come visit, you're welcome to do so. We just ask that we get some advance notice on that. All right, and so if you'll do that through the school office, then we'll want to make sure that we are aware of that, and we'll let you come on in through that entrance. We use what we call a sign-in system, and you'll get a name tag the same way. And so with that visitor's name tag as you come in, we want you, before you come, to follow the daily FCS, what we call our daily health self checklist that's there. We also want you to know that here at school, we also have background checks for all of our volunteers. Again, that's all for the safety of everyone that's involved. I want to turn it over to Dr. Hume and let her tell you just a little bit about some of the other details here.
All right, so we talked about getting to school and before school. So after school, your students have some options. If you have a sixth grader, they're going to, and you're not able to pick them up at the end of the day, they're able to go to our elementary aftercare program. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit more during our middle school only time that we have together. But our 7th through 12th grade students are able to go to the community center if you have filled out the permission form. And that was part of the ramp up day forms that you did last week. If you didn't do that, that's on the school's website under the ramp up day section. You can still go ahead and take care of that. When they're at the community center, then they need to be at the community center. So they're not allowed to walk to the library. They're not allowed to go walk to Meyer. They're not allowed to go walk around the pond or roam the woods. They have to be at the community center. If you want to let them do those other things, then you need to pick them up, and then they can do that once they're in your care, okay? Matthew 5:16 says, "Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven." And so while they're at the community center, our expectation of them is that they would be a light to the community members who are there using the facility. So we are not there supervising them. They're there on their own. There are adults in the community center, but they're not directly supervised. But we would hold them accountable for any behavior, any incidents that would happen over there during that time. And so if your student is going to take advantage of that opportunity that they have to be at the community center, if you would work with them, on what the expectations would be. Most students sit and do their homework, play basketball, hang out with their friends there, and all of that is fine. Then, let's see, I've got to advance it to the next one, don't I? All right, we're still living in a pandemic, right? And while we are thankful that we have the freedom to make a decision about what's best for our school, we want you to make a decision about what's best for your family, along with your doctor, your medical professional, to decide what is going to be best for you. So whether that's masks, no mask, vaccine, no vaccine, all of that we're leaving up to you until the point where we feel like we need to take some more significant steps due to the spread, and if we need to kind of tighten up our mask policy, or the governor issues a mask mandate. However, we want to love each other, okay? We want to be people who respect the decisions that people are making for their family, whether that's to wear a mask or to not wear a mask. And while we're all grown-ups, and I think that we can do that, your kids are going to come into school and they're going to repeat what you're saying at home, okay? And kids by nature sometimes are unkind, right? So I want to encourage you, regardless of what you think about masks or any of the other issues, I want to encourage you when you're around your kids to talk about how we can love each other and respect each other's decisions so that when they come to school, they show love to the families who are making a different decision. Does that make sense? I say to my students, nod. Okay, great. And there might be times where the best way for our students to show love one to another is to just for a time, maybe when they're in a small group working on a project, to put a mask on because one of their classmates is more medically fragile, and that would be a way to show love. So I just want to encourage you to just be talking with your student about ways that they can be ready to communicate love to their classmates. And just be prepared to maybe put aside their freedoms for a time to be able to be ready to love somebody else, okay? If your student has had COVID and has a positive test result in the last 90 days, then if they are a close contact, they won't have to quarantine. And if assuming they're asymptomatic, assuming they have no symptoms, and if you are able to provide documentation that they are fully vaccinated, then you would not have to quarantine. So those are a couple of things just to have on your radar. We are still required, while we have the freedom to choose what we're going to do about masks, we don't have the freedom to choose what we're going to do about quarantining. We still do have to participate in quarantining close contacts. So I want to just encourage you. We have two fabulous nurses who are very wise, very helpful, who you can call. You can talk through the situations with them to help you decide, is it best to just wait it out at home, wait a couple days, rush off and get tested, whatever the situation is. So we would love to help you. So every single time your student is sick, though, we really need you to contact the school office and let us know what those circumstances are, because we're keeping track of all of that, so that if something does develop, we have the data that we need to make decisions to keep the rest of our school families safe. So if you have any questions about that, you can check in with me. I know one of our nurses is here tonight, and we'll be glad to work with you on that.
So I was sitting down there and I was going, I know I forgot something, all right? And so please don't tell Mr. Grass that, but I forgot him, all right? So he actually has a video clip for each of you that wanted to at least introduce the school year and everything. So I'm going to let the tech crew get that back on up for you and listen to Mr. Grass here at this time.
Good evening, Faith family. It is my privilege and pleasure to welcome each of you to our 25th year of Christian education here at Faith Christian School. Through God's amazing grace and faithfulness, He has allowed us to offer an excellent Christ-centered education since 1997, and we are looking forward to a great year together. This year, our school theme is found in the Apostle Paul's words in Philippians 1:21. For to me, to live is Christ, and to die is gain. We especially intend to focus on the phrase, to live is Christ, as we seek to mentor and disciple our students and grow together to become more like Jesus through the various opportunities that we have the privilege to walk through. I want to welcome our new families to the Faith family. God has blessed us with a record enrollment of over 650 students. This is more than just a number, and it represents souls and individuals who seek to partner effectively with us as we seek to inspire a student's lifelong pursuit of Jesus Christ through a personal and encompassing learning environment. I also want to extend a welcome back to our veteran families, and I want to especially say a word of thanks for your strong support to our school, especially over these past 18 months. Your patient support and help has been noticeable, and I appreciate your ongoing prayers as we seek to kick off another successful year. As you are all aware, we continue to face some interesting challenges through the COVID pandemic. I want to ask us all to again consider a passage that we focused on a lot last year. Ephesians 4, 1-3. Therefore, I, the prisoner of the Lord, urge you to walk in a manner worthy of the calling with which you have been called, with all humility and gentleness, with patience, bearing with one another in love, being diligent to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. As we seek to kick off the new school year, I'm asking all of our families to help us out in 3 specific ways. 1, let's be known for our joy and unity rather than our complaining and our opinions. Secondly, let's be known for our thankfulness and our humility rather than our entitlement and our pride. And thirdly, let us all realize how much we can accomplish together instead of tearing one another down and becoming divisive in our words and our actions. I realize that the last year and a half has had its share of challenges. Our students are learning many valuable lessons as they watch the adults in their lives navigate these turbulent waters. I want our students to become more encouraged by what they see and hear instead of becoming more and more cynical and discouraged. This season in our life is presenting some marvelous opportunities to practice this year's theme of To Live as Christ. And I hope you will join us in approaching this school year with that goal in mind. In August of 1997, we entered Faith Christian School with a lot of unknown. And today, 25 years later, while we still face some unknown, we can have confidence in the fact that God is in control and that He wants the very, very best for our lives. So thank you so much again for being with us this evening, and thank you for being a part of the family at FCS. We look forward to partnering with you and with your family, and I trust that God may be glorified through the efforts this year.
Partner with each of you here. That's our goal. We're going in the same direction. We want to point our young people towards Jesus Christ. So that's our goal, is to be able to partner well with you. Hey, and part of that is in our communication. And so we have what we call around here our 4 rules of communication. I'm sure a lot of you might be familiar with that, but still, nonetheless, they come from Ephesians chapter 4, and I just want to take a little bit of time to go through them with you. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 25 through 31. And even though you may know them, I just want to take a little bit of time to remind ourselves of these truths. And the first one is to be honest. Be honest. That's found in Ephesians 4:25. Therefore, having put away falsehood, let each one of you speak truth with his neighbor, for we're members one of another. The reason for stressing truth is that if we can't solve the problem unless we know exactly what's going on. And oftentimes, though, we have a tendency to speak maybe through emotion about maybe what we want things to be or what we'd like it to be, instead of maybe accurately communicating the facts. But Paul also tells us to speak that truth in love. And the first part about being able to speak that truth in love is to speak it to the appropriate person. In Matthew 18, Christ tells us that we need to go to the person and that person alone and tell them about him. So whether that be with your child and maybe a teacher, we ask that you would go with that teacher. You go talk with that teacher. If you have an issue in that place, we'd like you to be able to sit down and talk with the teacher, not a coworker or parent or something else along that line, because the issue is there with them. And then if the issue is not completely taken care of, then we want you to be able to come to, for example, maybe the department head or the high school principal. Bring them with you, and we'll talk and we'll sit down with the teacher and a coworker, and we'll try to make sure that things get solved and resolved. That's our goal in mind. We want to do it in such a way that it honors the Lord. The second rule that we have is to keep current. Be angry, do not sin. Deal with problems quickly. We don't want to give an opportunity for the devil. We don't want to let things fester and for the devil to cause havoc. We want to do things right away and in a wise fashion. So here's some good questions to be able to ask yourself as you're trying to communicate the problem. One is, do I have the facts right? Oftentimes, if I've been in a situation where I begin to get some of the facts and then I respond right away, I think we've all been in a situation where you said, hey, I thought I knew what was happening here, then I respond, and then later on I find out there's more information that I was regretting not knowing about. And so I really want to make sure I have everything before I begin to speak. So do I have all the facts right? Is it really a problem, or is it just a preference on my part? Is it something that I can let love cover? And then Proverbs 15:23 talks about, hey, there's an appropriate time and place. So am I wanting to consider the timing of my response? And then is my attitude right? That's in Ephesians 4:15. Are my words loving? And all the questions go back to speaking the truth in love. And then last of all, have I prayed for God's help in the matter? As Proverbs 3:5-6 deals with, that I'm going to trust in the Lord with all my heart and lean not unto my own understanding. Hey, the third rule of communication is to attack the problem and not the person. Let no corrupt talk come out of your mouth, but only such as is good for building up, as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear. And do not grieve the Holy Spirit of God, by whom you're sealed for the day of redemption. Our words to encourage growth and to build up, not to rip apart. And they're also to fit the occasion. I thought that was interesting. Avoid confusing words. The result should be a benefit to those who hear, and it should give grace to those who hear. Now, the last word is, the rule that we have is to act and don't react. Let all bitterness, wrath, clamor, anger, and slander be put away from you, along with all malice. Be kind to one another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, even as God, for Christ's sake, hath forgiven you. If you respond biblically, it's, how should I say, responding biblically is probably not right in my old nature, is it? It's probably not in your nature either. Oftentimes I like to respond when someone sins against me by sinning back, but that really doesn't solve the problem, and that's not part of biblical communication. So being kind to one another, tenderhearted, forgiving as God in Christ's sake forgave me, that's a very powerful statement because it tethers it back to the cross. And that's why we have forgiveness. It's through Jesus Christ. So I hope that you'll take these 4 rules of communication because they apply to all of us. That's we as teachers as well. And our goal is to follow those principles throughout the year and throughout our lives. So if ever you have a need, please be sure to contact us. We do want to communicate. We want to communicate with you, and we want to help. Well, the last thing I want to just kind of share with is that we have some awesome teachers here at our school. And I've been blessed to work right alongside them for many years. This will be my 15th year at Faith Christian School. And one of the blessings that I have is being able to actually work hand in hand with them as they seek to actually influence your young person to be able to follow Jesus Christ. We also have some new staff this year, and so I want to take a little bit of time for you to get to know them through this video clip right now.
Hi, my name is Rocky Argo, and I'm going to be serving as the new Dean of Students for the high school and the middle school. My family's been involved in faith ministries for about the past 15 years. In the school, my boys have graduated, 2 of them, and my daughter is currently a senior here at Faith. We are excited about the new opportunity to serve here, and I look forward to getting to know your family in the near future. Thank you.
My name is Kevin Kelso, and I've been involved in Christian education for 11 years now. I started teaching while earning my MBA at Pensacola, and I've developed a love and passion for Christian education, specifically using technology to further that cause. I'm excited to be joining Faith as the new tech coach, and I'm looking forward to serving you and this community.
My name is Terry Emmerich. My husband and I have just relocated from Nairobi, Kenya, where we served as missionary teachers for 12 years. I'll be teaching high school math and science, and I'm looking forward to discovering those aha moments with my students. Tutaonana, Bada.
Hi, my name is Josie Williams, and I am so excited to be a third grade teacher. I graduated from Moody Bible Institute with a double major in elementary education and biblical studies. Before my husband and I moved up to Indiana to be closer to family, I was teaching elementary STEM at a Christian school in Georgia. Being here is such an answer to prayer, and I cannot wait to see what God has in store.
Hello everyone, my name is Andrew Williams, and I am so excited to be teaching 8th grade Bible and to be helping out with our elementary chapels and discipleship programs. My goal this year is to make every chapel meaningful and to come alive in the mind of our students. I also have a passion and a desire and a heart to guide students and to mentor them into having a closer relationship with Jesus Christ and to build strong Christian character in each and every person here.
Hi everyone, my name is Jared Holmberg, and I'm going to be a high school English teacher here at Faith Christian. Very excited and grateful for the opportunity to be here with your students. One thing that I'm excited about for this year is the potential that our students have to grow closer to the Lord. I believe that education is all about identity formation, and I believe that their true identity, which is rooted and founded in Jesus Christ, can be on display, and they can learn more about that in the classroom. I'm excited for this year, and I hope you are too. See you then.
Hello, I'm Beth Carlson, and I've taught in both public and private schools for many years, and this is my first year teaching half-day kindergarten at Faith. I'm excited to teach kindergarten because they have such a love for learning all things that God has created, and I'm especially excited that my boys and I will be part of the Faith family.
Okay, I don't know if I'm supposed to. There, okay, great. So those of you who have been around for a while, you know that we have a new dress code. Those of you who are new, we have a new dress code, and the kids are super excited. Some key things about our dress code are they can wear hoodies with Nike on them, hoodies with Baby Yoda on them, hoodies with whatever you want on them, as long as it's not political, polarizing, controversial, or dishonoring to the Lord, okay? It even can have IU on it. Parents, let me say a couple other things. They also can wear t-shirts. That's new this year. Boys can wear normal t-shirts. It can also have all those things on it. Leggings are now pants at Faith Christian School, as long as they have something nice and long on top of it that covers almost down to their knees. You're their first line of defense, though, okay? If they come to school and they have short shorts on, if they have leggings with something short over it, if they have athletic shorts instead of more dress shorts or jean shorts, we're gonna have them call you to bring them something else. So you will save yourself time if you check out what they're wearing before they walk out the door, okay? Our goal, one of the primary reasons that we switch dress code around is we don't want to have the first thing we talk to the students about in the day to be about what they're wearing. We want the focus to be on our relationship with them and their relationship with Jesus. And our conversations about dress code were getting in the way of that. So if you could have those conversations about dress code at home so that when they come here, we can just focus on discipleship, that would make everything really awesome. Yay. We just love dress code. I'm just so excited about the potential of I'm never going to have to say to a student, take that hoodie off. It's going to be so great. I might have to say, take the hood off, but I'm not going to have to say, take the hoodie off. However, we did some focus groups with the students, and they communicated to us that we need to do a better job giving them consequences. So we're going to do that. So if they're not in dress code, there will be consequences. So not the first time, not right off the bat, but if it becomes apparent that this is a student who is doing what they want to do instead of what they're asked to do, then they'll have detentions and other consequences for that. Okay. okay? So again, you would help us out by checking what they're wearing before they walk out the door. All right, we're going to hear from our tech coach, Kevin Kelso. We are so excited that he's here. There he is, great. And he's going to share with you some stuff.
Well, this is awesome. If she doesn't know what I'm talking about, I can pretty much talk about whatever. No, my name is Kevin Kelso, and let me tell you what a blessing it is to watch yourself up on the video there. It's not awkward at all. Let me go ahead and talk to you some things you might be familiar with, some things you might not be familiar with. But two terms that we've been throwing around are Canvas and facts. And so what I want to do just very briefly is talk about each of these and the differences that these have. So first I'm going to start with Canvas. So this is really our learning management system, with what Canvas is. And so important to know as you go to this website, it's not just going to be canvas.com. It's faithlafayette.instructure.com. It's our own use of Canvas. And to not make it oversimplistic, but I think it's very, very helpful, because it's our learning management system, if you ask yourself, is this a learning related question? It's probably going to be on Canvas. So questions like, what's my kid's homework? That's going to be posted on Canvas. When are the upcoming quizzes and tests? Those things are going to be posted on Canvas. Sometimes they're even going to do their homework, quizzes, and tests on Canvas. So that's our learning management system. Now, the students will have their own courses that they will be in, but you do have an option to be what's called an observer. And I know some people are, and I don't have time right now to go through exactly how to do that. But to become an observer, this is you kind of looking in on your child's class and saying, okay, here's the classroom announcements, here's the upcoming homework, here's the upcoming quizzes and tests that they have. And so you would be able to see that. If you're interested in becoming an observer, just find me in the gym a little bit right after this, and I can certainly set you up with that. Questions, there's my name and email, so feel free to shoot me an email if you have questions about that. Facts, on the other hand, not a learning management system, but our student information system. So you're going to find things like grades, and then anything to do with like finances, payments, and then a lot of really good links about things that are happening in the school. One thing that I tell students is the grade on RenWeb, that's the one that you really want to follow. There will be some on Canvas, but the one on RenWeb, or Facts, the one on Facts, that's the one that you really want to be paying attention to. As far as you guys logging in, it's going to be Facts Portal, for Facts Family Portal. It used to be called Parents RenWeb. I think it's even still there in parentheses. And the login should still be the same, so you can see all of your child's information on there. Questions, you can field those to me, or even at the school office as well. So.
All right, we're going to send you every Sunday a progress report home that's going to have your students' grades up through that Friday. So not everything that they have done will have an actual grade yet, but at least you'll be able to see if things were turned in. One thing that has confused parents in the past is I'll get emails that say, I know my student turned that in. I watched them turn it in. They have a 0 on it. If it says 0 out of 0 valid, that means your student turned it in. Okay, it just means that the teacher's not taking that assignment for a grade, but as long as it says the word valid, it's not missing. Okay, so I just want everybody to know 0 out of 0 and valid, everything is good. We want to encourage you to look at that progress report, take note if anything is missing, take note if anything is incomplete. We do have consequences in place for our students. We did this in middle school last year. We're carrying it on into the high school now, that they'll have some detentions in Saturday schools because not turning in homework is a behavior problem. So there's going to be behavior consequences for those things. So you'll want to look at that on Sundays so that they have an opportunity. For the high school, I'll pull those grades, I'll pull those scores on Tuesdays so they have an opportunity to get stuff in on Monday and fix any of that before I do that on Tuesdays. Some of your students' classes are going to be using standards-based grading, and those teachers will communicate that to the students. in that grading, that's a different kind of grading philosophy. It focuses on growth and mastery over time, and it uses grades as a way to encourage growth rather than grades as a way of just assessing in a moment of time. So it's a little bit of a different philosophy, and it uses a different kind of calculation. So in those classes, you're going to see in that progress report a number that says current grade. And that number is actually being pulled out of a spreadsheet that's doing the calculation. So you might look at that and say, this grade doesn't make any sense. I don't see how all of these numbers are coming up with that grade. Well, they're not. Okay, that grade's being calculated in an Excel spreadsheet, and then we're reporting it back to you there in your progress report. So I'm probably your go-to person. You can talk to the teacher about that, but I'm also the go-to person about standards-based grading. It took me about 4 years to understand and really buy into that philosophy. And now that I have, you could not. If the school were to say to me, "You have to go back to normal grading," I would say, "See ya." I mean, I believe that strongly in it. So, I mean, I might not say that, but I might say we need to talk. Okay? It's really, there's a lot of learning growth that can happen with that philosophy and that system. So, I think next we're going to hear from Paul Bruninger. You in here? Our Director of Advancement.
Thanks, Nicole. Good evening, everybody, and welcome. I'm Paul Bruninger. I work in advancement. So a big part of that in the spring semester is admissions, meeting new families, welcoming new families. I know we have a lot of new families joining us this year, so we are glad you're here, and we definitely want to welcome you. Part of my job also is coordinating a lot of our events throughout the year. And we have a couple of different purposes for the events and why we run them the way we do. And one of the big reasons is we just want reasons for all of us to be together. You know, we pull our school families not necessarily from one neighborhood or one part of town, or, you know, even one select kind of group of people, or certainly not just one church. But we are represented in a lot of different counties, 100 different churches, a lot of different backgrounds, and we want reasons to be together. And so we have these events throughout the year. And I just want to encourage you, first of all, just come to these events. It's a great way to get to know other school families, a great way for you to be a part of the life of our school. And they're really, really just powerful ways for you to see kind of what's going on in our school and to appreciate and really to celebrate a lot of it. Second thing, a lot of these events that we do, kind of 4 major ones throughout the year, are also part of our fundraisers. And for us, you know, I mentioned we have a lot of different families represented, and one of our top goals is to make our school accessible to as many families as possible. So every year we are working hard to keep tuition as low as we can, because we know it is a financial sacrifice for every family here. And these fundraisers are ways that we can supplement our school and really help to enhance a lot of the things that we have, a lot of our programs, a lot of the things that we can do in the classroom. A lot of that stems from the generosity of our school community through these events. So I really want to encourage you to consider, you know, coming and participating, coming and giving. And then also for a lot of these, there's opportunities to serve. We're looking for volunteers to help run these events. So I hope you kind of pay attention for those throughout the year. The first one we have coming up is kind of up there on the screen. It is our Eagle Scramble, and that's coming up on Friday, September 10th. It's our golf outing. It supports our athletic department, athletic programs and teams, and a lot of the enhancements for our teams. That funding comes through the Eagle Scramble. So it's a golf tournament on Friday the 10th. You know, you can take a half day at work in the morning, come out and play in the afternoon. The website up there, faithlafayette.org/scramble, is where you can register now to come and play. So we got more information in the back. I'll be out there in the gym at one of the tables to talk more about that event if you're interested. And then our biggest fall event is coming up in November. And for that, we'll have Teresa Rosenboom, our auction coordinator, come up.
Thank you. I think half of what I have written down here, Paul has already said, so I'm going to kind of change what I was going to say. But as Paul said, we love to have our fundraisers obviously, we want to support the technology and the school supplies and initiatives that we have, but also just to get together with our families, especially after the last year and a half. I think we've seen that people really want to get together. They want to be together, and we want to have fun together. And the auction is a great way to do that. Our auction this year will be on Friday, November 5th. It'll be right here in the auditorium, and we'll use the school gym as well. I have a few things that, besides obviously it's a fun evening of there's food and there's fellowship with others and lots of bidding, friendly bidding, some competition there. There's a few things that we need from you, though, to make the auction successful. First of all, if you could pray for us. As Paul said, this is one of our large fundraisers, and it's coming up soon. We also want to make sure that we glorify God in the way that we plan and execute the auction. Also, if you could, we are, Lord willing, going to have in-person seating, and also we'll continue to offer the auction virtually at home. So if you can't come for some reason, you can still access the auction from your phone or your computer at home. It is a great night to maybe have a date night with your spouse, or maybe you've got a group of coworkers or friends that don't have kids here at Faith, but they want to support a Christian education. So you could bring them that night. That's a lot of people do that, and that's a lot of fun too. I think we have things to offer for everybody. We have chocolate baskets, we have restaurant gift cards, vacations last year, classroom creations that the teachers have made with their students. So we have something for everybody. Third, we also need volunteers to make the auction run well. So when you do your online Give 3, you'll see a section there for the auction. We need help gathering donations, setting up, tearing down, distributing the items the next day. We need help with the food and childcare as well. So if you could sign up maybe to help with the auction, that would be wonderful. And then obviously we need things to auction off at the auction. So if you have, maybe you own a business and you have a product or service that you could donate, maybe your company would be willing to donate. My husband works at Caterpillar and they always give us a nice donation. For example, maybe your best friend has a home-based business. So if you have anything that you think might be a product or an experience or a service, we would love to talk to you. I will have a table set up in the gym after the orientation. You can come talk to me there about a donation, or you can always call the school office and talk to Amy. So we hope to see you on the 5th of November.
Okay, hey, that wraps us up in here. In just a moment, I'm going to ask the high school parents or parents of freshmen if you'll make your way over to the music suite, which is, if you're new to us, you can just go right out this door here on the right-hand side or even out in the hallway, and then take the hallway and go right down here to the south. And then when you get right to the very end, take a left, you'll go right into the music suite. I'll meet you there. We're going to have some specific information just for the high school's parents, and then also the middle school parents are going to remain in here. Dr. Hume will be actually giving you information here. Hey, I want to remind you that when those meetings are done in the gymnasium, we've got the special tables that are there, the athletic table is there, I believe the fine arts is there, fax management system is there, carpool information is there. Kevin's going to be there as far as information dealing with technology and things along that line. So really, and then the auction, don't forget the auction table that's over there as well. When all the meetings are done, again, I'm going to do my best. I'll be out here at the southeast corner. If anyone wants to kind of, hey, you know, Mr. H, I didn't quite get that as far as drop-off, pickup, I'll be there to kind of point you around, okay? It's going to be a great week. As Mr. Grass would say, it's going to be great. It is, all right? Okay, so if you've got a freshman or if you have a new high school student, if you will make your way on out either these doors or out those doors, and I'll see you in the music suite right over here. If you're middle school parents, if you'll hang tight right here, and we'll get ready to go.
Oh, here, take this. Maybe stay here for middle school. Yeah. Is this your first year here at the school? Yeah. Yeah, stay here. Similar. We're, yeah, similar. So, yeah.
So, all right, hey, let's just spend a minute and get to know each other, okay? So I'm not going to make you talk, all right? First, middle school teachers, will you stand up? Oh, there's one back there too. Best teachers in the school. I'm just telling you. I'm not biased. They're awesome. So Justin teaches math. Justin Brownfield teaches math. Stephanie Wellborn teaches computers, and she's kind of my right hand. Everything that I need, I pawn off on her. Cassie Wiedemann does history, and then also we loan her out to high school for English a little bit. Misty Skidmore does all of our English classes in the middle school. Noelle Oakwin does our science classes. Heather Colley is FACS, and Rocky Argo is the Dean of Students, and he's doing middle school Bible. And Angie Houts back there is art, and Kathy Hoysinger is one of our middle school, one of our 7th grade science classes. And I think I got everybody who's in here. So they're awesome. I just love our middle school science teachers. I'm not just science teachers. I'm a science teacher. I love all of our middle school teachers, not just our science teachers. Okay, all right, parents, I want you to stand up if this is your first year at Faith Christian School. Yay! Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. Now, parents, I want you to stand up if this is your first middle schooler ever. Your oldest kid is in middle school. All right, the adventure begins. All right, now parents, stand up if this is your last kiddo in middle school. Anybody with their last kid in middle school? All right. My youngest graduated from high school last year, so both my kids started in preschool here, and I'm gonna actually miss a couple of days of school next week. We take her off to college, so thankful as a parent for those of you who are new to Christian education. It is not something that we ever considered as a family, and God just kind of orchestrated some things that we weren't expecting, and we ended up putting our kindergartner in school here, and now being on this side of it, I cannot imagine having done anything else. I am so thankful for the teachers and for the influences, the godly influences in their lives, and the parents who are like-minded. I mean, parents, August 24th, we have a dessert night, okay, just for our middle school parents. I really want to encourage you to come and get to know each other. It's just such a blessing to be able to, for your, middle schoolers are going to have conflicts. They're middle schoolers. They just don't always think, the way we think. But when you can partner with the other parents and be on the same page with them and just have a relationship with the other moms and dads and work together to help your kids solve problems biblically and work through things, it's just such a blessing. And so I just want to encourage you to get to know each other. And so August 24th here at the school, we're having a dessert night, and I hope that you will all come to that. And I'm afraid I'll forget to tell you that if I don't say it now. All right, couple of just middle school details. We eat lunch at the horrific time of 10:50 in the middle school. So if you want to send your kiddo with a snack for 7th hour, you're welcome to do that. There's a couple of things about food in our building that I want to make sure that I say. We have some middle schoolers who are very, very, very allergic to nuts, okay? And so I want to just ask you to please, especially, we have some special seating at lunch for those who need to protect themselves in that way. But I just want to encourage you to be really careful about sending nut products in your lunches, but especially that snack, okay? There are no nuts, no products that contain nuts, no products that contain traces of nuts. I want to keep those classrooms completely nut-free for the safety of those students, okay? So can I just ask you to really watch what you allow your kids to bring for that snack? Okay, so quick, easy snacks, goldfish, an apple, a cheese stick, something that they can eat, something that they don't have to go to their locker or their lunchbox and get, something like that. We have recess in the middle school. We go outside for recess sometimes when it's drizzling, sometimes when it's really kind of cold, sometimes when it's been raining all day and now it's not and the parking lot's wet. What other kinds of awful times am I forgetting? Snow. Okay, so indoor recess is awful, okay? So we go outside, so dress for the weather. That's especially concerning on PE days because your middle schooler can wear their PE clothes on PE days. All right, so it's January and they're in their PE shorts and PE shirts, and now we're going outside for recess. And some of them don't wear a coat. So we're going outside for recess, okay? There's no extra adult to watch them in the building during that time. So help us not let them get frostbite, okay? So they really need to dress for recess, okay? They can leave a coat in their locker if they don't want to wear it to and from school, right? Okay. All right. We have a new option for PE clothes that are sweatpants and a sweatshirt. So just want to clarify for those who were here last year. Last year, we let them wear sweatpants and sweatshirts of their choice on PE days. This year, if it's a PE day, they have 3 choices: school dress, PE shorts and PE shirt, PE sweatpants, PE sweatshirt. And they can mix and match the sweatshirt and sweatpants, okay? But that's it. So no Nike sweatshirt, or on PE days in gym while they're doing PE, okay? So that's going to be a little bit of a change for the kids. We're going to ask our 6th graders especially to wear those PE clothes to school, because sixth grade PE is kind of a shortened hour because our 6th graders get to serve the rest of the student body and set up for lunch. So that makes their PE time a little bit shorter. So they can bring a change of clothes, but they would use some of their recess time to change real quick before they would go outside for recess. A lot of kids, what'd you say? A good chunk of the kids just wear their PE clothes all day. So maybe some of the 8th grade girls end up not liking that. I think by the time they get to be an 8th grade girl, that's kind of yucky. I don't know. All right. Let's see. We take homework seriously in middle school. So last year, I ran a little report at the end of the year. We had 9 missing homework assignments in the middle school. That was it. There were 1,900 in the high school. So middle school, we take homework seriously. We do our homework. They miss recess until the homework is done. And then if the homework is a week late, they get assigned a Saturday school. That Saturday school costs you $20. So you should make your student work it off with lots of extra chores. Okay? Homework is important. Homework is practice. Homework helps them learn skills and reinforce things. But we don't want to penalize their grade for the late homework because we want their grade to reflect what they know and what they can do. And so we give them that behavior consequence for missing work. All right. And so it was really great. Last year we saw a lot of growth in our students. And so I'm looking forward to this year not having a lot of issues. Not having a lot of issues, whatever, with homework in middle school. We'll see. They're middle schoolers. After school, we kind of already talked about this. 6th grade, this is a change for us. So if you had a 5th grader last year, the aftercare program that we had for elementary is going to be available for 6th graders this year after school. We had a homework room last year that middle schoolers could go to and sit and do their homework. This year, we're doing away with the homework room, and instead, we're having a detention room that's going to be available for 6th through 12th grade teachers to assign kids to detention. You are welcome to send your kid to the detention room. It doesn't mean they're in detention, but there's not going to be a homework room, okay? So your options after school would be to pick up your student, send your 7th or 8th grader to the community center, or send your 6th through 12th grader to detention room, which is only available Monday through Thursday, or send them home with a friend, or pick them up. Okay, so if you have any questions about that, I'm going to stick around here. I know I'm like flying through things so that you can get out of here. And I really want to talk about the iPads because we're so excited about iPads. Okay, so let me, can you guys help me pass stuff out? This is why I want you all here. I want to talk about the iPads. This is a big change for us. Last year we did bring your own device. Those of you who I interviewed this summer, I told you sometime this fall we hope to be getting iPads, but we're going to be able to launch these right away at the beginning of the school year. I need one page. All right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So the iPads look like this. They have this really nice case with a keyboard. All right. Every student's going to get one. They're going to be able to take them home. They're going to be able to use them at home for their homework. We played with them. The teachers got to play with them today. There are two things that are coming to you. One is sort of like an information packet, and then the other one is a photocopy of the last sheet. In order for us to give your student their iPad, we want that last sheet signed, but I ran a photocopy of it so you don't have to tear it off and be missing some of the information. Okay, so if you look at the back page, this matches this separate sheet that you got. That way you can keep this intact and you can just return this to me. Okay, so a couple of key things about these iPads that are much different than bring your own device. We have, this is an educational tool. There are no games on it, okay? Right now, there is no ability at all for your student to install anything of their choice on the device. Okay, so they can't take it home and say, oh, I'm going to put, I don't know, what do they play? I'm going to play Among Us on it. They can't, okay? They can't install that on there. There are some safeguards that we're going to use at school. We have a content filter on it that's going to restrict what they can do on YouTube. It's going to limit them to a safe search within Google and Bing and those kinds of things. It's going to do keyword scanning, so it's going to notify me if there are words that are inappropriate that they're searching. I'm going to get a notification about that. It's got best-in-class filters to keep them safe. Eventually, we're going to be able to let some of those restrictions go a little bit, and there's some more up here, sorry. You're going to be able to make some of those decisions at home, what they're going to be able to do, and you're going to be able to decide, okay, we trust you with this, and so we're going to let you do this at home. But for right now, they're pretty locked down. We want to encourage you as parents to only allow this device to be used in common areas of your home where you can observe what's going on. The device needs to come to school charged. So we want to encourage you to make sure that it gets charged in the living room and that it doesn't go into their bedroom to be charged so that they're not on it late at night, keeping them up. And then we really want you to lay out some ground rules in your home for how this is going to be used and what your expectations are going to be with it as well. When we're at school, it's really pretty slick. The teachers are going to be able to set some so let's say I pick out 3 apps that I'm likely to use in my class. I'm going to use Canvas, I'm going to use Microsoft Word, and I'm going to use Kahoot in my class. And so once I click Start Class, Everything else on the device disappears. And the only thing while we're in class that student's going to be able to do are those 3 things. And if at that moment in time, the only thing we're doing is Microsoft Word typing a paper, the only thing they're going to be able to do is Microsoft Word and typing the paper. So it's going to limit distractions. We don't have to give them Microsoft Teams during the day, so they can't communicate with each other during the day. So, okay, now we probably will let them have Microsoft Teams at night so they can communicate with their teachers. And okay, I know, but eventually, Jay, I see you nodding your head. Eventually, you'll be able to take that control and you will be able to say, nope, you don't get that, okay? So it's really pretty great. In class, the teachers can say, okay, we're gonna go to National Geographic, and they can put the student in the website. And so while we're in a website, and you think, oh, once they're in a website, they're gonna be able to navigate away from it. No, all they can go to is National Geographic. So whatever website the teacher puts them in, that's all they're gonna be able to do is that website. So it's gonna let us use this as an educational tool while keeping your student so much safer and controlled than what we were able to do with Bring Your Own Device. So we're really super excited and thankful to have these. Our plan right now will be to give these out, not this week, potentially the next week. There's a couple of little details of how kids are going to sign into some different apps that we need to work out. We need to figure out, make sure we all know what we're doing with some of those details, and then we're going to pass these out to your student. The device has insurance on it, so there is if your student, if it gets run over by a car and it completely smashes it, it's $50. Okay. The worst thing that your student can do to it is destroy the case, because the case has no insurance, okay? The case is a $100 replacement cost, all right? So they need to not take a Sharpie to it. They need to not destroy the case. We want to ask you to please, we're going to give the students a charger and a cord. It's going to be labeled Property of Faith Christian School. At the end of the year, you need to return that to us. And I know things get lost and things get chewed up by dogs and things happen. When you return it to us, it needs to be an Apple branded one, okay? Not bought this for $4 off of Amazon one. And we also want to encourage you, for the sake of the battery in the device, to only use the Apple charger and cord, okay? Using a different charger and cord is going to start to kill the battery. Now, if the battery gets killed, we can send it out and we can get a new battery. That's part of our insurance. But we'd love to not have to do that all the time. And you don't have to pay, that cost. You only have to pay if your student shatters the screen or something like that. That's just when you would pay that $50 kind of deductible. Okay. So I have covered a ton. I'm sure that you have questions about things. So what I would like to do is just go ahead and pray and close our time. So those of you who would want to get out of here can, and then we'll stay in here and I will answer questions until everybody feels comfortable with all of the details and ready to go for the week. Okay? All right, let's pray. God, I just thank you for all of these families. I thank you that we're able to be here in person. God, thank you for the gift of these iPads and providing those to our school. God, help us to be good stewards of all of the things that we have this year, the new desks, our new staff, the devices, just the opportunity to be back in school together. God, there's just so much to be thankful for. Help us not to take things for granted. Help us just to continually give you thanks and praise for all that you're doing. God, help us to have a great school year this year. Lord, I know that there are students in our middle school who have not yet trusted you as their Savior. And Lord, above all else, God, I just pray that this would be a year that many would come to know you and trust you as their Lord and Savior. Lord, I pray for wisdom for these parents. It can just be a really challenging time to be a parent of a middle schooler. Just there's so much influence from the world that's trying to drag our students away from you. Lord, I pray for these parents that you would just give them wisdom and strength this year. God, we just thank you for your goodness and your faithfulness to us. Thank you for Faith Christian School. Thank you for 25 years of just being able to influence the lives of students. In your name we pray. Amen. All right, if you have questions, stick around. If you want to hear the questions and answers, stick around. We will not give your students an iPad if that signature paper is not returned. Okay, so that's just an FYI. We can make a pile up here in the front. Yes, question. You should have a packet and a single sheet. Okay, there are extras up here of both if you need one. No, you can fill it, yeah. You can hold 3 of them. Yeah, they can add. No questions about anything. Everybody's content and happy. Oh, PE uniforms. When will PE uniforms come in? Where is Mrs. Hoysinger? Mrs. Hoysinger, do you know when PE uniforms will be in? 2 weeks. I heard 2 weeks. So for 2 weeks, your middle schooler will